tapaskacha desatarani Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you all for coming. This is one time my father asked me, he said he didn't know much about our devotional life. And he thought, well, I'm a monk. I'm living in a temple, cloistered life. He was thinking, what do you do for fun? And I told him, actually, Dad, there is a festival at every moment in the Hare Krishna movement. They asked Prabhupada one time, what do you do for recreation? Prabhupada said, what? He said, our whole movement is recreation. So we have so many festivals. This festival is the bathing ceremony of Lord Jagannatha. And after this bathing ceremony, somehow or other, the doors are open, and they should stay open because it's hot and stuffy. When the doors are open and he's being bathed, Lord Jagannatha catches a cold. And when he has this cold, he then goes into seclusion. He goes into seclusion. He special diet and special prayers. Actually, during that time, all of the repair, all of his painting, anything that needs to be renovated is done at that time. But in our mood, he's sick and needs special care. How the Supreme Lord can become sick, how Lord Jagannath apparently can be the Supreme Lord, we're going to in a few minutes, we're going to try to address that. But let me just give you a simple example. Sometimes they say that God is the cause of all causes. He's unlimited. God is infinite. Was there thunder up here yesterday? It was a lot of thunder in San Diego. I mean, that is just, the whole building shakes, and billions, literally, billions of tons of water are floating in the sky. If I could float this glass of water, you'd all be amazed. So imagine the person, the cause of all causes, it's floating all of that in the sky, and just a spark of his splendor, according to Bhagavad Gita, is that thunder. Imagine the power of God. So people say something so powerful, God is infinite, he's in everyone's heart, he's in every atom. So how can that take a form? God must be formless. But if God is all-powerful, are you saying that he cannot take a form? Well, then you're limiting God. They say God is unlimited, so how can he take a form? But if God is unlimited, then how can you limit him by saying he can take a form? So how about this, to stretch our mind a little bit? That actually God takes a form that is unlimited. From that form, he can perform unlimited pastimes. So the Supreme Lord, just so that we have his association and we can serve him and we can meditate on him, the Supreme Lord, although he's present in every atom, let me give you an example. The material world is a dictionary for the spirit. By studying the material world, we can understand the spiritual world. Now, the sun is the most powerful thing we experience, right? I mean, you move this, the sun were to move millimeters this way, we'd all be crisped. And it were to move the other way, we'd all be ice cubes. So it's illuminating and warming the entire universe. And yet it's present everywhere, isn't it? Sun is present. Right now, sunlight is here. Sun is present everywhere. And yet it simultaneously has a location. It is present everywhere, and it has a location. I can ask you, where's the sun? You can point to the sun. So it's localized and all pervasive. Now, and there's so many suns. So if a material thing can be so powerful, localized, and all present, then you don't think the cause of so many suns, the creator of so many suns, can also be present everywhere and have a location. Why not? We're seeing it right before us in the form of the sun. So Krishna, as the cause of all causes, Aham sarvasya prabhaho, janmadasya, everything emanates from him. He's also simultaneously present everywhere, in everyone's heart, and he has a personal form, just so we can worship him, bathe him, glorify him. So when you see Lord Jagannath, he's quite enlivening. Once you've seen Lord Jagannath, you'll never forget him. So, but that is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead kindly appearing before us. So that's what we're doing. He gets sick by his own pastime just to give us a chance to serve him. And then in 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks? Yeah. We have our blissful Ratha Yatra. Any of you who have not been to Ratha Yatra, this is just a short commercial. The LA Times called it a spiritual Barnum and Bailey circus. You go to the LA Ratha Yatra, it is fantastic. You'll have so much fun. Because it's my duty to give you a little philosophy and maybe something to go home with. Most people, most religious traditions, and we try to separate just from religious, what is it, two men read the Bible day and night, one reads black, the other reads white. So everybody has their different ways of rituals and forms, but what is the essence? What is the purpose? What's behind it? So most religious traditions, the Christians, they're praying, "Oh God, give us this our daily bread." It's their Mahavakya, it's the Lord's Prayer, first part of it. Our Father art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. They've got that part right, to their credit. Give us this day our daily bread. Prabhupada used to say, well, on one hand, it's good. They're recognizing the right source. We're dependent on God for everything, no question about it. But it's not really love of God, it's love of bread. That's what they're praying for. Now, ha 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 ha, look at those Christians. Hindus, Om Jaya Jagadish Hari, give me a new car and a house by the sea. They're also praying for Islam. I don't mean to trivialize these things, but how many virgins? If you're a martyr, you get so many virgins, you go to heaven, and So people are calculating materially, more or less. God is like an ATM machine. That I just offer some prayers, and what am I going to get for it? Now think about it. If you have someone, well, I'll even say this, Louis XIV, the Sun King, Versailles, one of the most powerful people on the planet, everything he wanted, he had materially. For his own happiness, in Versailles, the gardens there, the palace outside Paris, he made a little place that was like a little peasant house. And that's where he would associate with his intimate friends. And they would just laugh and joke, because everywhere else, everyone he met wanted something from him. Now think about it. Everyone is asking God for something. Give me this, give me that, give me a Om Jaya Jagadish, Hari, new house and a new car and a house by the sea, or give me daily bread, or give me virgins, or let me pass this test, or whatever it is. Everybody's asking something from God. They don't really love God. They love what God can do for them. The Vaishnava tradition is different. It is a higher level. Love of God is love of bread. God give me, and I'm dependent on God. That's something. We recognize that. But I think in Christian tradition they call it, there's carnal love, and then there's filial love, and what they call agape. So carnal love, is lust. Man and woman, that's, is considered on a lower platform. A little higher than that is filial love, like Philadelphia, it means brotherly. It's a more altruistic, selfless love. And agape, these are the Greek terms, I think they're Greek or Latin. I think agape is Greek, but anyway, it means love of God, which is completely selfless. Okay, that's great. But in our Vaishnava tradition, how that selfless love of God, how it parses out and how it manifests is detailed, described in depth. I think we only have a few minutes here, but then let's just think about this. Anybody here I think it's not happening anymore, but anybody here as a kid ever have an ant farm? Okay. Geeks United, you can raise your hand if you had an ant farm. Anybody here have an aquarium? Okay, I've got more aquariums now. And you just watch the fish go back and forth. I mean, after a while, you got to move on, right? Or, so I guess I'll say it this way. The idea that, well, God is in heaven, and some kind of like, I don't know if any of you read The Catcher in the Rye. His only business, was when kids are running through the field and about to fall off a cliff, he catches them. So God's only business is to just like watch out for us. And if we need anything, he's like, Johnny on the spot there to help us out. Well, what about, people are arrested as stalkers. You're arrested as a voyeur if your only business is watching other people. Well, you say to somebody, if my whole business is just, suppose I just followed you around all day long. If you need anything, I'll give you a Kleenex, open the door for you, after a while it would wear on you, wouldn't it? You say, come on, man, get a life. Get your own life. So the idea that God's only business is that he's just waiting until we need something. If we sneeze, he's there with a Kleenex, or make sure we get a new car, or whatever it is. That God's only business is to serve us. That's a small portion. But actually, as we have a life, we have friends, we have activities, where do you think that comes from? Any kid, I want to pick on a kid. Basic algebra. Okay. You're beyond algebra. He volunteers you. You can get mad at him. I didn't pick on you. He said, I think he wanted to detract me from you. I'm from him. Okay. Anything you have, if you have a subset, you have the whole set, and you have the subset. You with me? Anybody who didn't shut their... Chris, it's summertime, everybody shut off their brain, but anyway, it's a simple thing, everyone knows. You have a set and a subset. Can you have a number in the subset that you don't have in the original set? Everybody says no. Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, says it in a much more simple way. He says, if you take a drop of water out of the ocean, anything you find in the drop has to be in the ocean. It is so much sodium and this and that, whatever it is. Whatever's in the drop or the subset has to be in the cause, right? We have friends, we have activities, we have relationships. We don't spend our whole time just, taking care of other people. We have our own internal life. We're not just, if you spend your whole time staring at somebody, you're arrested as a stalker or a voyeur or a peeping Tom. Or God's only business is like an ant farm or an aquarium watching everybody go back and forth. So the fact of the matter is that the Supreme Lord has a spiritual place. He has his home. There is a kingdom of God, Paravyoma, Vaikunta, that place where there's no anxiety. That place, as it says in Brahma Samhita, time is conspicuous by its absence. Everything here is conditional and subject to change. Krishna says constantly mutable. Go to your high school. Anybody over 50, go to your high school reunion. Everybody's got to wear a name tag. Because Skippy's in a walker, Curly's bald, Slim weighs 250 pounds. Everybody's changed. You don't even recognize them until you see the name tag. This world is constantly mutable. It is constantly changing. The Buddhists say nothing is certain but change. If our happiness is dependent on this conditional world, everything's changing. We all know that. Nothing's certain but change. This Krishna says constantly mutable. If our happiness depends on the right conditions. I watched a man today, before I drove up here. He was going to sit out on the lawn and read the Sunday paper. We like to read the Bhagavatam. They like to read the Sunday paper. So he was going to sit. He's sitting on the lawn. So he sat out there. Nice sun was shining. Got his big newspaper out. Wife came out and whispered something in his ear. Oh, they wanted to have a barbecue. So the man went to the store, and he came back, and he set everything up, and he got the wife happy with him. Then he began to read his newspaper. Then the kids came out, and they were, little kids, asking so, all right, he went to the garage, he got the swimming. I was watching him out my window. Got the swimming pool, got the kids all, finally got everybody all set up. It took a couple hours. He finally sat down. My wife's happy, kids are happy, everybody's happy, Began to read his newspaper. It had clouded over, poured rain on him. Everybody had to go inside. So if our happiness is dependent on the right conditions, I got to be with the right people, I got to have enough money, my mind has to be peaceful, which is not an easy thing, my body has to be in good condition, I got to have enough money, I got to have the whole thing. So there's so mane factors you have to like when you pull the slot machine and all the, ching, 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 you get the 3 cherries in a row. So many things have to line up so you have a moment of happiness. And then it's gone because the conditions will change. So if our happiness is based on conditions which are guaranteed to change, we need the right conditions. Conditions are guaranteed to change. As they used to say in California, if that's what our happiness is, we are cruising for a bruising. That's conditional happiness. Now, what if there's something called constitutional happiness? Constitution means the very nature of the thing. It's another meaning for the word dharma. It means like the dharma of sugar is to be sweet. The dharma of a chili pepper is to be hot. That's the nature of the thing. It's the defining quality that does not change. Without ice, has to be, solid. As soon as it changes, you call it steam or you call it, water. Ice, the very nature of the thing is solidity. Once that's gone, then it's not the same thing. So my point is, what if there's something called constitutional happiness? Constitutional. That which does not change, that which does not depend on conditions, that which is not subject to time. Shouldn't we want to have that? Who here, we're going to out if there's any closet masochists. Anyone here, raise your hand if you don't want to be happy. Raise your hand. It's not a trick question. All right. So we have a shared understanding. We all want to become happy, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Except for you, a few closet masochists who don't want to admit it. But everybody wants to be happy. So the question is, it's just a question of how to become happy. The Krishna consciousness movement, the literature of the Vedic tradition, is explaining the nature of the soul. The soul has 3 qualities. All of us, each of us is an independent soul. This is our constitution. This is what doesn't change. We've been black and white and old and young, been there, done that 1,000 times. We've been great devas, we've been sages, we've been worms on the street. We have gone through the whole cycle of samsara, 8,400,000 species of life, around and around and around. Each time, what is it? Whoa. Because I wanted to tell a joke. Because we're supposed to end at 5:30. My simple point is this. The purpose of the human form of life. Somebody's got a cell phone? You can shut it off. Bad news will still be there when you turn it on. Don't worry. The purpose of the human form of life, we have a purpose. There's a reason that we're here. We're not just meant to fill up space and make it to Walmart and back with the GPS and, drop dead and leave a good, corpse. That's not what life's all about. Life is meant, all of us have a set of problems we're trying to address. We have a set of problems A, and we solve that by set of solutions B. You with me? Each one of us here can share with you, got a few minutes, I'll share you. Everybody's got a set of problems. We all have our Oprah moment, all of our problems. And for those problems, problem set A, we're working on set B of solutions. Suppose, which usually doesn't happen, suppose set B actually resolves the problems of set A. But lo and behold, set B brings a whole nother set of solutions, brings its own set of problems. Oil, okay, fine, our cars, but how many problems is that? Everything brings, it's called harsha shoka, that everything, material advancement, brings a difficulty along with it. Set A, solved by set B, but set B brings a new set of problems. No problem, solved by set C. No problem. But then comes problem set D, and it goes ad infinitum. We are spending our life trying to solve problems. Doesn't mean, you don't have to work or make money and take care of your family. We're not saying, don't get me wrong. But if our whole life is trying to solve problems that creates new problems. There was a Brahmin, this is Prabhupada's story. There was a sage living in the forest. And simple life. So he had a set of cloth underwear. And when he was wearing one set, he'd wash the other set and hang them on a bush. One day a mouse came, stole the extra set of underwear. What to do? So he went and asked his friend. We've all got friends like this. Hey, what do I do? His friend said, simple thing, get a cat, and the cat will keep away the mouse. Sounds like a good idea. Well, all right, he went and got a cat. So he sits down for his meditation. Meow, meow, meow. What the? The cat's rubbing up against him. Oh, the cat can't do his meditation. He goes to his friend and says, look, I got the cat. I got no problem with the mouse now, but I got the cat. What do I do about the cat? He said, well, the cat, have you been feeding it? No, I'm trying to meditate. You got to get a cow, because the cow will make milk to feed the cat. Then no problem. Okay, the guy goes and gets a cow. But then, the cow's all, what? He goes in front, what's it? His friend said, you got to get a wife, because the wife will milk the cow. And then you can meditate. They get the milk to feed the cat to take care of the mouse. All right, he gets married. Well, the wife comes to him after once and says, look, it's fine. You're sitting there meditating, no problem. But what about me? I'm bored stiff. I got to, He goes to his friend, what do I do? His friend said, get her some kids. Have some kids. Then she can play with the kids, and, and she'll take care of the cow, to produce the milk, to take care of the cat, take care of the cow. Okay, afterwards, you got old McDonald's farmhouse. You got the wife and the kids and the cow, and then, no time for meditation. He finally says, enough of this. He just gets another pair of underwear, solve the problem, So we are spending our lives like that. We're solving all the little problems. It's an old analogy, but I'll give it to you. I think most of you know it. I have a box. Suppose it's a little thought exercise. I have a box, right? And I want to tell a joke. I'll get to it in a second. I have a box. Picture my box. Now, I have a stack of rocks, and I have a pile of sand. And my mission, and they will fit. It is possible to put the rocks and the sand and fill up the box. Just to the rim. There's just enough room. So, what do I put in the box first? Rocks. Defend your answer, young lady. Anyone want to argue sand first? All right, rocks. Why? Oh, wait. It's not your turn, buddy. I'm sorry, Hare Krishna. Yes. Very intelligent. 10 points. Extra prasadam for her. If you have a box, with a box, you put the rocks in, the sand will all fit around it, right? Now, one man I was there, by Krishna's grace. Detroit, there's a darshan. Prabhupada's talking to some friend, the guests, and they're talking back and forth. And the one man was fidgeting and looking at his watch, and obviously his wife had dragged him by the ear. The guy did not want to be there. So Prabhupada, didn't miss a thing. Prabhupada said, what is your concern? What's your anxiety? The man says, I have a very important appointment. I'm going to be late. I don't want to miss it. Prabhupada said, don't worry. He said, you have only one appointment, and you will not miss it. Do you know what that appointment is? At death. Guaranteed. I was getting the tires fixed on my car. And these, two guys, Heckle and Jekyll, or whatever their name, where they're talking to each other. And the one guy says, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, what are you doing? And they're going on like that. And one of the guys says, oh, I'm just killing time. I couldn't resist. I said, no, actually, you're not killing time. Time is killing you. I said, hey, man, you got a point there, So, we're all going to die. I'm sorry. I don't want to rain on the parade. But it's a fact. And what if that's not it? What if it's buy now, pay later? Layaway plan? What if strip it down. Every action, there's a reaction, isn't it? We're bodies moving through space. Do you don't think there's reactions for our actions? And what if there is a next life? The body's changing at every moment. I used to be your size, believe it or not. I used to be handsome. What happened there, So my point is, this body is changing. Riddle of the Sphinx. Do you know that? Who knows that? What walks on 4 legs in the morning? What animal? 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, 3 legs in the evening. What animal? Huh? Don't shout it out. Raise your hand. Somebody raise their hand. Yes, Prabhu. What? Defend your answer. How? Babies on 4 legs, okay? At the prime of life, you've got 2 legs. You got 1 left, 3 legs, huh? Old man with a cane. And we've all gone through that arc. We're all going through that arc. And I'm 63 years old. I'm telling you, people say back in the 90s. Seems like yesterday. Is it 20 years ago, back in the 90s? More than 20 years. Quarter of a century ago. Seems like yesterday. The older you get, the faster time goes. And before you know it, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. So what is the real problem with life? What happens at the time of death? And how about this one? What if, instead of trying to push matter around and create conditions that will make me happy, that are guaranteed to change anyway, what if, anyone know the story of the Gordian knot? It's folklore, who knows what the story is, but Alexander the Great, he was going through a pass, and if you're in a pass, you have to go single file with an army, so you become very weak. The local king said, if you want to pass through here, here's a test. You have to cut this. It was called the Gordian knot. It was, a Boy Scout knot. A Boy Scout knot on steroids. That's the Gordian knot. And if you want to go through this pass, you have to untie that knot. So, and if you accept the challenge and lose, you get killed. And there were a stack of skeletons right here. So it's a tense moment, right? Anyone know what Alexander the Great allegedly did? Took his sword, and with one swipe, the knot unraveled. So, knot's untied. There are so many problems in life, and we are trying to solve all of those superficial, like the sand, all those small problems. But the big problem, what happens at the time of death? What if I do go on? What if I have to take another material body with all the pains and suffering that comes with that? What if every activity I've done, who knows where Colonel Sanders is? With how many, or McDonald's? I mean, who can even imagine where that guy is? So, what if it's all true? What if every action has a reaction? I'm responsible for everything I've done. And on the positive side, what if there is a way to solve that one can become happy in any condition of life? What if there is that inherent happiness? That happiness is when the soul is in contact with the Supreme. Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda. He's eternal. The Supreme Lord is eternal, full of knowledge and full of pleasure. When we come in contact with the Supreme, like this wonderful festival we're about to have, when you're in contact with Krishna, who's the source of all happiness, guess what happens to us? Happy in any condition. I have seen it. I've seen devotees, in the process of dying. I've seen devotees in great physical. I've seen so many situations, devotees become completely satisfied because they know they're not this body. So, how much time do we have now, Slovas? 2 minutes. Okay, I want to tell a joke. I promised I would. Actually, I got 2 jokes. I'm trying to think of which one I want to tell. They're both kind of corny, so don't get your hopes up. Okay. The concept, the realization that we can actually have a relationship with the Supreme Lord. Not just like an ATM machine or God give me this, God give me that, but a loving reciprocal relationship. Krishna says, Yeyatam mam prapadyante in Bhagavad Gita. As you surrender, as you approach me, as you serve me, I reciprocate. The relationship builds like that. As we surrender to Krishna, as we serve Krishna, Krishna reveals himself. And that relationship becomes a deepest of friendship. Suridam sarvabhutanam, the best friendship. So here's an example. The Pope, and I'm not picking on, it just happens to be that way. Don't get mad. There's many good things we can learn from the Christians. That's a fact. So the Pope calls a conference of all different traditions. And a nice Vaishnav Krishna Bhakta comes from Vrindavan to the, And the Pope is impressed. He makes friends with his Vaishnava friend. So he invites him into his quarters. So the Vaishnava, the Krishna Bhakta, is there with the Pope. And he notices on the Pope's desk there's a gold phone. So the Krishna Bhakta, Vaishnava, says, "What's the phone for?" God says, "That's my direct line." The Pope says, "That's my direct line to God. I can pick up that phone, call God immediately." In fact, I got a question, right? So the Vaishnava says, "Can I test it out?" And the Pope says, "Sure, but don't talk too long. It's really expensive. So just, keep it short." So, okay, the Vaishnava picks up the phone, Govinda Maripurusham Tamaha, you offer some nice prayers. The Krishna puts the phone down, says, "How much was it?" Pope says, "It was $4,000. Just give us 2 minutes. Can we just give me a minute?" Okay. Come on. So,
tell them.
$4,000 for 2 minutes. What to do? But anyway, the Vaishnava, no, Pope says, "No, I got plenty of money. I'll cover it." Wait, the Pope covers it. Then some time passes by. The Pope happens to be visiting India, comes to Vrindavan, sees his nice Vaishnava friend. When he goes to see his Vaishnava friend, the Pope notices that the Vaishnava friend now has a gold phone. So he says, "What is this?" He said, "I put one in. I saw yours. I put one in too." So the Pope says, "Can I use it? I got a burning question. I'll be short." Vaishnava says, "Go ahead." And the Pope talks, and he forgets, and he's on there for 2 hours. Puts the phone down, says, "Gee, I lost track of time. How much is it? I'll have to sell the Sistine Chapel." Vaishnava says, "Nah, it's only $3. Pope says, "Why?" Vaishnava says, "It's a local call from Vrindavan." Ha ha ha. So the point is, and I am going to finish, but the point is to have that intimate, sweet, loving understanding of Krishna. That's what these festivals bring to us. So put your heart into it. Krishna's real, and you can have your best friend. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. I'm sorry I went over.
Haribo! Lead kirtan. So now we're going to be blowing the conch, and then we'll have Lord Jagannath come out. So please stand up. And we have flowers for everyone. So please grab a handful of flowers. And then as the deity comes around, you can throw them on the deity. What you guys can do is just kind of stay here. And the deities will go by you. Just to stop anybody else that's going. We have a procession now. And the procession will be the Brahmins holding and carrying the deity. We don't want a procession following us. Got it? We don't want anybody following us.
How will I get off the Yatra if you're there? Thank you.
Let's get the microphone for him. The microphone. Get the microphone. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Jai Jagannatha Swami ki Jai.
Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribo, Haribo. Prabhus, we need, hey, Haribo.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Oh Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Badagame, Jayana Badagame Bhava Tume. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Badagame, Nayana Badagame Bhava Tume. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Badagame, Nayana Badagame Bhava Tume. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Badagame, Nayana Badagame Bhava Tume. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shrimati Subhadra ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jagannatha, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya 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 Jagannatha, 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladev Subhadra. Jaya 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 Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladev Subhadra. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora.
Yeah, you should shut the
Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jagannatha, Jai Jagannatha, Jaya 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 Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Nitai Gora Haribo, Haribo,
Balaram ki jai. Jai Baladev.
Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Jagannatha, Jai Jagannatha, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame, Nayana Patagame Bhavatame. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatame. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatame.
Balaram ki jai.
Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha Swami, Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Swami Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra.
No, it's okay. All right? Yeah, they know who they are.
Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame, Nayana Patagame Bhavatame. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagame, Nayana Patagame Bhavatame. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatume. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami Bhavatume. Hare Krishna,
All the blue,
Hare
all the blue.
Krishna,
If you have a blue
Krishna
ticket, come
Krishna,
forward.
Hare
Blue tickets,
Hare
come
Rama,
forward.
Hare Rama,
Blue
Rama
tickets.
Rama, Hare
Blue, blue,
Hare.
Blue tickets, come forward.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Jaya Jagannath. Jaya Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannatha Swami Jaya Jagannatha. Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Baladeva Jai Subhadra. Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhava Tume. 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama